Hello, good people. This is your Golden Retriever friend Dave at Gap View, doing this little presentation, some great information before you come to pick up your puppy. From housebreaking, crate training, feeding station, vet, all of it. Purina provides these packets. You'll get one of these when you go home. Inside the packet has a whole lot of little segments to it. One of them is, here is the information that they have on all different breeds, but a lot of good helpful hints of good stuff that you want to read. It is some worthwhile information to read. Here's your health record. Dr. Marilyn Hooven comes here. She does your first set of shots. She brings her heart gear, her eye gear. She does complete physicals on these babies before you take them home. They have to pass her inspection before you'll get her letterhead with her signature that they have passed. Then she will do the first set of shots, a DHPP shot. You'll take it back in 9 weeks and you'll get the Lipitor the second time, the DHLPP, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, it's one shot. And for each and every one. At 16 weeks, you'll get your first rabies shot, okay? That's when I highly recommend you spaying and neutering. What they never knew to have, they never missed, okay? You'll have all your worming dates. They get wormed at 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 6 weeks. Nemex 2 is our wormer. It's a very expensive wormer. Your vet knows all about this, but it's a very cleansing of their system. We actually will send you home with some preventative meds, meaning that one is Albon and the other one is metronidazole. I don't say that word right. That's a tablet. Albon is a liquid. But I will go over that when you pick up your baby. It cleanses their intestinal tract. It's nothing but an intestinal cleansing for Coccidia giardia. It's a bacteria that it's a fecal thing, meaning that we clean all the time, but one little puppy gets a little fecal on its coat and the other puppy comes up to grab it and wrestles with it, then it taints their intestinal tract. It's a cleansing of their system, all right? Because once it's gone forever. The next thing is just some great household, once you leave here, general information. Bathing, all the water baths, you want to give it a water bath. Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo, if it's good enough for a baby's head, it's good enough for your newborn little baby. About once every 3 to 4 weeks, take cooking oil, Mazola, olive, corn oil, and put 2 or 3 tablespoons on top of their dry food. What that does, it rejuvenates oil in the follicle of their coats. It cuts down tremendously on shedding, and it puts a little lustrous look, a little oily coat on your baby. A lot of people are really going with fish oil tablets now. Once every 2 to 4 weeks, it depends on the dosage. For cats, watch out for cats for their claws. Dysentery, there's really 3 big things for females, 2 big things for males, 2 out of 3 are the same. You know a whole lot about your puppy by its stool sample. It should be semi-mushy to firm. If it gets runny, I always say right off the bat, don't run it to the vet. It could eat a piece of grass, a leaf, anything. If it continues, 3, 4, 5 days from now, take a sandwich bag, take a little sample, take it to your vet, and then they will scan it and see if it's worms or whatever it really may be. The meds that I'm sending you home with, it's nothing but in a preventative. Once you leave the kennel, then you should not have any more issues with this whatsoever. Coccidia or giardia. That's an intestinal bacteria. Again, where did they get that from? 2 puppies wrestle through it, and one gets a little fecal on their coat again. It gets into their intestinal tract, and then it taints, and that's where the bacteria in the intestinal tract comes from. Again, the Albon and the tablets I'm giving you, it will I promise you, clear it up right off the bat. Dr. Marilyn Hooven gave this to me to give to you, so that way, once you get home, they're out of the kennel setting, they're into the household setting. Feeding twice a day is okay. 3 times is optimal. I'm going to get more into that because that gets into housebreaking. Fleas and ticks. There are no fleas and ticks this time of year. I always say don't chemicalize your baby until you spot something. Next March is when you should really start looking for that again. Grooming. Have you ever heard of a Furminator? This is your best tool. Petco, PetSmart has them for $60, $80 because they're so good. Go to Amazon.com, you can get it for $20, $25. The other only little tool you may want is a little wire comb, and that's just for the featherings on their legs and their brisket, etc. Spaying and neutering, I highly recommend spaying and neutering at 16 weeks. That's your last set of shots of DHLPP. It's your first rabies shot. That rabies shot's good for 1 year. After the first shot is good for 3 years, but your vet will keep you up to date on that. I always start off, what do you want right when you leave GapView? You want housebreaking, crate training, feeding station, sleeping station. Let it nip, let it jump, no collars, no leads, no sit, no stay. This baby's looking at you for total direction. What do you want? Housebreaking, peeing and pooing outside. They may whimper and cry for 3 or 4 nights. It's not because they need to use the bathroom. It's not because they're hungry. They just wake up and, where am I? And I don't know where I am. Love, food, and shelter, the 3 elements in life. Once that love's there, tonight, tomorrow, the next day, GapView's the Motel 6. Your house is the Ritz. It is. TV, popcorn, all of it. Within a week, 10 days, no more than 2 weeks, your puppy's sleeping all night, peeing and pooing outside, eating well. Everything is just going well. They've been nipping for the whole entire time. They've been jumping. Let them nip, let them jump. You're getting housebreaking and all those great things down. Until that timetable comes, you can almost see it's like a light switch. Honey, I'm home. At that point, none of my nip, none of mine jump. When they go to nip, I take their lip, I pinch it, and I twist it. You got to get a sound. If you don't get that sound, it's not going to work. I'm one of 10 kids, and when my dad snapped his fingers at church and pointed at us, we sat up, or we were taken out back, okay? The second time, because they're going to nip again, take the lip twice as hard, twice the sound. The key is twice the sound. Jumping, this is when they, anytime, but normally when you come in, they're so excited. When they come up, this is your hand, their nose, this is your hand. You pop it, put your hand 6-8 inches above their head. Don't use English words, at. So as they come up, pop it, at. With it, they've never been popped before, only because they've been peeing and pooing outside and eating and doing all those housebreaking, crate training, feeding station, sleeping station. There's 4 things you want right off the bat. Second time, more of a sting, and make sure it's a nice little sting, at. They do it a third time, at. Well, how much fun is that? Every time they come up, you pop in their nose. They're rated 3rd most intelligent. It doesn't take but 1 or 2 little pops, and they'll look at you and go, I got it. They're so smart. Jumping will go on for a life of a dog. Nipping will go on until they lose their baby teeth. But let them nip and jump. I'm backing up a little bit only because housebreaking, crate training, feeding station, sleeping station. Feeding should never be in that crate. We have a kitchen, we have a bedroom. The sleeping station, I have certain families that said it will be in my bed. I call it like Bed Bath and Beyond. It's your business, your bed, and your all of that. But a crate, confinement is caring. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more about crate training. The second big one, dysentery is your one big one. The second big one is stray dogs / high traffic areas. No parks, no rest areas, nothing parvo is like AIDS in a person. It's a killer in puppies. Until the last set of shots at 16 weeks, the whole immune system's not up to par. After 16 weeks and all the 4 series of shots are, then you can take it wherever you want. Right off the bat, I always say, your puppy needs to grow roots. It needs to know who mom and dad is, where am I eating, where am I sleeping, where am I peeing, pooing, who are you, what. They catch on so quick. But they need to let all friends and family come to your house, but don't take your puppy out to show and tell. Petco, PetSmart, none of those places that accept pets. Don't take them, that's nothing but a high traffic area. None of the high traffic areas. Toys, it's like a baby in a crib, you don't give it marbles. Puppy Kongs, puppy Nylabones, nothing that is, that's small. They need something to chew on outside of your shoes and furniture or anything else. So give them something to chew on. The Kongs, the puppy Kongs are excellent. If you're ever leaving for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, fill it up. And they even have the stuff you can squirt into them right now. But peanut butter works like a champ. Only do it when you're leaving for the timetable because it will keep them occupied trying to get the good stuff out of that little puppy Kong. Take hot water, wash it out, and you're good to go. For females, 10% of all little girls get urinary bladder infections. Where that comes from moisture. What you need to do is when you take your baby home and do the Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo, dry it good and trim around her privates. And don't use baby powder but cornstarch, and just keep that dry, and you will keep your baby free of that. But if they happen to get it, how you'll know they'll have it, any puppy that goes to urinate, it will squat and finish squatting, and then it will just, they're finished. But if it squats, goes 10 feet and goes 10 feet and 10 feet, and they're squatting all the time, they're trying to relieve themselves, but they can't. It's a UT, okay? Amoxicillin for 10 days, it's got to come from the vet. We'll take care of that and take care of it permanently at that point. But just keep it dry with cornstarch, again, not baby powder. Getting into crate training. A crate is, confinement is caring. You know where your baby is when you're not there. It doesn't chew on electrical cords. It could potentially save your baby's life. It helps prevent bad behavioral habits from developing, and it protects your home from damage from mischievous pet. Anytime you're not watching your puppy, I don't like the word he must, she must be in the crate. Must means you're in the shower, you go to the grocery store, you're busy. Again, confinement is caring. Whenever your baby does anything wrong, meaning drifting away, sniffing in the garbage, doesn't matter what it is, don't use English words because they hear those all day long. Use at, and do the at according to the crime. Goldens are rated third most intelligent. They know when you're toned. Anyone that has babies at home right now, this is about housebreaking too. Meaning have dogs at home right now, take your baby out to where they have soiled. All dogs sniff into where there's a scent of pee and poo, and they will soil that same exact area. If you don't have an area, create your own area, because 95% of all your fecal will be in that area. Meaning that everyone knows their yard, but do not let your puppy follow you up to that area. You got to carry it to that area for them to soil that area, or your area is going to be a lot bigger if you let them follow you up to that point. Okay. No food or water should ever enter that crate. That is a bedroom. We have a bedroom, we have a kitchen, we have a housebreaking, crate training, feeding station, sleeping station. That's all in your literature. That's what you set up right off the bat. Getting into housebreaking, there are 5 key times that your baby has got to use the bathroom. First one up in the morning takes it out. Last one goes to bed at night, takes it out. When they wake up from a nap, take it out. And when they finish eating. Morning, night, eating, sleeping. 5th time is when you're playing, because you're getting everything moving in their system. If they're ever playing in your den floor and they lift their head up, they got to pee and poo right then. Don't answer the phone. Now, your baby is good 4 to 5 hours. This is a bladder thing. And you can back it up to 3 to 4 as a safety thing, but they're really good 4 to 5 hours. 1 week from now, the bladder grows 5 to 6. 1 week from that, 6 to 7. 1 week from that, 7 to 8. The key is, if one goes to bed at midnight and one gets up at 8 o'clock in the morning, someone's got to get up at 4. When you take it out any time, but when you take it out 4 o'clock in the morning, don't put your baby down and say pee poo. It's going to look at you, you pee poo. They don't even know what they're doing out there at that hour. So when you put it down, use my food. It's a pitch. Use my food sound. And then it's a kitty sound going, come on, you got to pee, pee, pee. And walk 10 feet this way, 5 feet this way, 8 feet this way. This puppy's going right on your heels. They will hop like 4 or 5 times, and then they will squat to pee, because almost all animals pee before they poo. When they squat to pee, don't go, good boy, good girl. They'll cut it off and take the other half inside. So when they squat, quiet, staying still, let them relieve themselves, and when they start to move, then you go, good boy, good girl, come on, you got to poo-poo, go. But that will trigger them. Now, they will pee within really 3 to 5 minutes. They're going to poo within 3 to 5 minutes, so you're never outside more than 10 minutes at a time. Now, they're going to poo 1 to every 3 pees. All right, so if they didn't poo the first time you took it out, 50-50 the second time. They didn't poo that second time, 75% they're going to poo the third time. The few phone calls that went out and peed, they brought it back in and pooed. So do your little high pitch walking for 3 to 5 minutes, and you will see. If not, it's 50-50 next time, 75% next time. They will milk and mold right into you in the household. The whole key of housebreaking is you control intake, you control outtake. Okay? So when you take your baby home the very first night, take 1/3 of this bag, soak it in warm water, take a third of the can, you'll go home with this when you go home, and mix into your moist, that you soaked your moist food here. Take a little extra, put on top, it's like chocolate syrup on top. So you're gonna have one wet, take a third of the next of this bag and put it in a bowl. So you have one wet, one dry, and one water, okay? So the whole thing of this is, they may not eat the first night. They may not eat the next morning because where am I? Where am I sleeping? They don't really know. Males actually eat quicker than females do. But you're gonna present it to them. So you're gonna have one moist, you're gonna have one dry, and you're gonna have one water. Right when that snout comes away from that food dish, it disappears. Both the food dishes, the water stays. 4 hours before you go to bed, the water disappears, okay? The next morning, the two foods, the wet and the dry, and the water goes down. The food disappears immediately, water stays. Lunch, water stays. Supper, water stays. 4 hours before you go to bed, water disappears. You're totally controlling intake, you're totally controlling outtake. Take a third of this and soak it, a third of the can, and just make a paddling like Gerber's baby food. One dry, one water. Take your, what they don't eat, take your can, put a sandwich bag over it, take your dishes, put a little saran wrap over it. It's good for a week in your refrigerator. And if ever you finish with it, the birds, they sneak in the back of my door, they love it. Everyone's going to go home with a microchip puppy. And with the microchip, every police officer, every Humane Society, whoever would ever pick up, Goldens are notorious to follow kids home. Goldens are #1 family. They will hop in the car and, hey mom, I'm going for a road trip. I mean, they're just love bugs. The chip that I use is called the Bear chip. I know there's the Home Again chip. That can only be read in the United States. The Bear chip is universal, worldwide. You can go to Europe and it's read throughout Europe, etc. Every police officer, every vet's office, every Humane Society should be able to read your baby's chip. Okay. The only time they won't be able to read it if they have a couple older vets that don't have the modern scanner. They have the old scanners. I do throw a couple extra cards for anyone that says, where'd you get a beautiful puppy from? Please write down anything and everything you can think of. This will give you a lot of good basics to go by. And I'll answer anything and everything when you do get here to pick up your baby. Just bring a towel with you and let the passenger, whoever the passenger is, put the seat back and put it on the floorboard. So take a towel per person that you don't want anymore, and 2 or 3, 4 showers, hang dry them. Use that as their bedding, and believe it or not, they just melt right into the family. A few extra things that I think you would love to know. I do board what I sell. I love to see my babies. They say I'm less than 0.5% or 25% of what boarding fees are out there, but I get to see my babies when they come back. The only thing I do ask is that all the shots are up to par and no fleas or ticks are brought in. My vet tech I had worked for me for years did this whole packet for you. It's from dental care, it's from poisonous house plants, inside, outside, household products, just a whole bunch of great things. You also get a 4-generation pedigree on mom and dad that will show you parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-grandparents, all the way back in their lineage. And I've had many of these generations back. So you know all their hips, hearts, and all those great things are up to par. I mean, I will not breed without all the main things, which is their hip, heart, and eye. I do not line breed. AKC will let you breed mother, son, father, daughter, brother, sister. I don't believe in that. They call it line breeding. But there's just a whole lot of great general information in here that you would find very interesting and very helpful. Here's one of the babies I just brought up with me just so, oh, where's my baby? I know, I gotta take you down for this one. It's feeding time. But these are one of the, this is just one of the little litters that we got right now going. But just, I know, it's feeding time. And see, one thing about puppies, they eat, pee, poo, and sleep. They're my babies. God bless and happy holidays and all those good puppy loves that are out there. Take care. Bye-bye.